what I am here today. I am going to be starting a tutorial for Tactics Advance, because I feel that the lack of a tutorial for this game is quite, what's the word, unfortunate. So, I am going to provide a tutorial on the basics of the game, and making sure that everyone understands how this will work. I'm not sure how long this will be, but I'm going to make sure I go into depth as much as possible. Now, I'm going to get started with the tutorial. To make text go faster in this game, you want to alternate between B and A. And it advances the text boxes faster, which is very convenient throughout the run, and it actually saves a bit of time. Now, what we got here is the beginning tutorial on how to play the game through a snowball fight. Now, it really does not matter what you name the character. We just simply name him Mark, since that doesn't really... Since naming does not matter, because you're basically skipping most of the text boxes anyways. So it does not matter whether or not how long his name is. Now, I don't have my splits up because this is obviously a tutorial, and you don't need to see my timer going. But I will go through the entire game explaining what is necessary and what isn't, because I already have a save file post-grind, so I can show off everything else after the grind session. Alright, so whenever Rich gets her turn, which is unfortunate, she didn't get her turn right away because of her speed. Levels are RNG. You want to set your cursor speed to fast, your message speed to quick. You want to turn off the attack hand, experience, judge points, and non-equipped items. Make sure you hit B and save the changes. For this, all you have to do is simply hit wait, and it'll cycle through everyone, and whenever Rich gets her second turn, there'll be a small cutscene afterwards, which is when you want to split. Levels, every time you start a new file are RNG based, and as you see, Rich is level 2, this character is level 1, Mute's always going to be level 1, I believe Mark was level 2, which all determines their speed later on. But since we don't get Rich into any percent, and she's post-game, there really isn't much point in her speed, except whenever she's controlled by AI. Now, this is essentially 10 minutes worth of cutscenes, which is the longest set of cutscenes until the end, until you beat the final boss. And as we continue throughout the game, I'm going to explain everything. Now, how you kill the enemies is going to be determined on the importance. Well, there's a priority list. If an enemy can heal and or protect his allies, you want to kill them first. Other priorities are, whenever I get to it and we start talking about it, is judge points. Later in the game, we're going to see something called a Totema, which can be summoned by 10 judge points. Judge point management in any percent is really crucial, because you need Totemas for certain battles, and when we get to them, I will tell you exactly which ones. But for right now, judge points are completely pointless until you get the Vagna Totema. Whenever we actually get onto the overworld, I will also start explaining placements of certain towns and places, how to manipulate the laws, and how to manipulate the months to get a particular months and or laws. But since, for now, we're just going to enjoy the random cutscenes as we skip through the dialogue, which is not important in the speedrun. Obviously, RPGs do need story. If you want to know the story of the game, just play it casually. Because story gets skipped. Well, all the dialogue gets skipped. Story doesn't really necessarily get skipped itself. But I'll explain what's going on here. They opened the Grimoire, which is basically a history of Evilas, and showing off the other creatures of, well, the natives of the land. There was the Vagna, the Nomad, the Deer, the Noodle, and the Human. The 5 races of this game each have their own particular set of jobs, and we're only going to be using 3 of the races. Human, Vagna, Nomu. This becomes important later after... excuse me. After what is known as the Frosty Mage grind. And since this is a tactical RPG, you're gonna see me trying to kill things. Turn-based. It's a turn-based tactical RPG. If you play the original Tactics on the PlayStation 1, you're very familiar with this kind of system. Though this is not a direct sequel to Tactics, it is a sequel nonetheless, even if it's not a direct sequel like FFTA to Grimoire and the Rift, which is the direct sequel to this game. And the whole story of the, Evilas Chronicles, as I'm going to call it, is really complicated. It's just super complicated and whatnot. Now the whole world is changing into Evilas by the Grimoire that we have gotten in possession of. turning an entire town into a country. There goes John, March's little brother. Alright, now we've been transported through the world, and we're gonna be introduced to our very first battle against two Bognos, a white monk and a warrior. In this battle we have a AI-controlled Moogle named Monoblanc, and his AI is really bad at times. But it also introduces the RNG that is this game. This game has RNG based on how to hit somebody. It is quite punishing at times, but it's best to know about it now than me telling you about it later, because you'll more than likely see Monoblanc misses in black magic for whatever reason. Alright, so the first person you want to kill is the white monk, because he has the least amount of health. And we're explaining what the judge does. The judge enforces the laws, and if you break them, you get basically penalty cards, yellow and red. Yellow card's a caution, and as a red card will send you to jail. If March gets a red card, he will be sentenced to jail and it's game over. Alright, let's see if Monoblanc hits anybody. RNG has struck in the beginning of the tutorial, so that's a little bad because the extra damage from Monoblanc would help. Such as Dogna and the critical HP. Now it's based on if now I'm worried about now is Monoblanc's AI. It is really buggy, as I mentioned before. And there will be a time where he will, instead of using black magic, he will fight, dealing weapon damage with his rod. Okay, he doesn't demonstrate it now, but if he hits, the Dogna will go down without him using first aid, saving time. Saves about a good 12 seconds. Alright, so you would split on whenever you see mission complete. Battle 1. I personally made splits for the snowball fight in this very first battle. Others had waited until you start the first story mission, which is herd picking, which is 20 minutes into the run. But we're going to be coming up to our first menu soon, and we're going to be introduced to the world map. So there's going to be more cutscenes. There's going to be a part where I load up my other file that I have saved on this game. Oh, I must mention, there is actually if you play this game on emulator, it's going to be slower by... Right now, my current time is 4:56. The world record time is 4:36. On average, emulator is slower by 2 minutes, which adds up, in my case, a 20-minute difference between my time and the world record time. Now we get to name the clan. Same deal, doesn't really matter what you call it, but you want to just keep it by the default name. And okay, this is the world map. So the first symbol that we're gonna place is called Saffron. What we want to do is we want to place it right next to Gaza Plains. I'll explain in a moment why this is important. But for now, we're going to do our shopping first. Now what you want to buy is 1 silver sword, the floret, a rod, and the Knuckles Rising Sun. That should leave you with 1850 clan funds. Now, go to the pub, and we're gonna go to the missions to pick up her picking. We get a cutscene that activates, and we're going to do our first menu. Okay, so first we're gonna go and change March into a archer. This is important because he needs to learn an ability called Boost. Then we're gonna give our soldier the Silver Sword and the Caress. Then for the White Monk, we're gonna just give him the Rising Sun. Alright, our White Mage is going to turn into a Black Mage, because we need all the damage we can get. Now we're going to change our Archer into a Fencer. Again, more damage, the better. Giving her the Leather Grab and the Floret. Now we're going to give March the Chain Plate and the Longbow. Alright, we'll go to Gaza Plains. The law will be Protect Poison, since we're not going to be using Protect, which is forbidden. And the recommended is Poison. We will not have to worry about either of those two things. The recommended will give you Judge Points, while the forbidden will give you yellow or red cards, depending on the severity of the law. Sorry. I had a thing for a moment. The law rankings rank from rank 1 to rank 5, and the penalty could be you don't get your mission item, or you lose stats permanently, and all that. Now, you want to kill this fairy first, and the placement that I did was the soldier, then the White Monk, then the Black Mage in the back, and then the Fencer. Oh, that was good. Normally that fairy would take 2 hits, and then you would move the Fencer right beside her and to attack her, but that crit... Crits are RNG as well, and they're based on the percentage. Now you just want to move the Black Mage to a spot where he'll eventually be able to hit something. Now, the reason why we turned March into an archer is so he can learn the ability Boost. This becomes important whenever we start doing a mission called Frosty Mage. it all makes much more sense once we get there and we start this game's notorious Frosty Mage grind. I will show how to start it, but I am not going to be grinding all the levels, all 50 levels. Instead, I'll show you how to set it up, what you need to do, and show off a couple of dupes and what you're expected, and then move on to something that is a post-grind, but I'll have to explain. I'll explain it after, once we get to the grind section, because there's an important thing that will not be shown since I'm not going to, well, I could show it off, what you would end up doing. Yeah, and then it'll make a lot more sense afterwards. I can do that. Alright, so I'm not going to show off the entire grind, I'm just going to show off a little bit, then I'm going to show you what you do after you grinded to 50 or 48. That is preference. I've done runs where I went to level 50 and I did runs that went to 48. The difference between those two is by far 4 minutes. It's a 4 minute difference between getting 2 levels. What else? Right now we're just killing everything for sure, and then we'll just get our next 2 missions. After I've placed the next area in a specific location for a certain law to be banned, and it will always be banned if you do this every single time. You place it there every single time, that particular law is manipulated. Throughout the game, there are certain missions that we try to manipulate the laws for. For instance, there is going to be a mission coming up where we want to have Charm banned for the Ultima Totema fight. In that fight, wow, just critting all day. Here you would split after mission complete shows up, or mission cleared. Alright, cutscene, and then we get to... Unfortunately, we're probably not going to get the Knuckles called Kaiser Knuckles, which teaches the ability Air Render to our White Monk right away. It is unfortunate that this would happen. Alright, so Luca Pass, we want to place it right here. What this does, now that we have Sephiroth here, we can go to Sephiroth, go to the pub. You want to pick these missions in this order. Snow Elusa, and Thesis Hunts. That's important because Snow Elusa will unlock a mission called the Frosty Mage mission, while Thesis Hunt is for story. So the reason why we split Saffron here is so that after we do her picking, we can place Luca Pass directly above it, so the law forbids knives. Having knives forbidden for Thesis Hunt makes the 2 thieves in that mission unable to attack you, or risk a penalty of getting yellow card and eventually apprehended and getting a red card. Alright, so Snow Elusa, we don't have to worry about knives so much. since all these are monsters and they don't use weapons. You want to put the black mages in the back like that, and everybody else in the front row. Now what you'll do is, you want the monsters to come to you. So you're going to skip the white monk and the fencer's turns. So that will cause the panther and the goblin to come towards the party. Doing so will prevent them from getting attacked right away, and allowing the black mage to attempt to deal damage to the red panther that showed up here. And we'll miss, since that was a coin flip. Now you want to move the soldier up to the goblin on the side, since hitting things from the side is a lot easier than trying to attack them from the front. Hit rates are determined. See, I got a 50% chance now hit rate because I'm facing him. If I was facing to the side of the goblin, I would have a 75%, and if I was behind him, it would be 83%. Just gonna goblin punch. Okay, now we're going to... If the goblin stayed where it was, I could have done thunder right here, and I could have hit both the panther and the goblin, but since it moved, I can't hit two enemies at once. That's how magic works in this game. It works in a 4x4 from the center. So if you attack a target from the center with magic, it'll hit everything from the front, the side, and front, behind, and from the sides. From the center. And the center takes damage as well. Okay, that's good. I'm going to make this a two-part tutorial. I'm going to do the first half of the game up to Dragon Hunt. Then I'm going to do post-Dragon Hunt because I feel this will be a lot easier to absorb. I feel that it will be a lot easier to absorb if I do it by parts, rather than doing the tutorial and having a lot of information to absorb. That way, you can practice the first half of the game, and then be able to do the second half of the game. Because if you understand how the first half of the game works, then the second half will not be as hard. Damn. So that was bad. And that was a 75%. And I still missed. Okay, she didn't die. This is just be wasting time now. This would take about a good 2 minutes if this was doing a run right now. Then you would split here. And then the longest mission by far starts, and that is, I didn't get the early Kaiser Knuckles. I do believe we might get them, but that's RNG based. Getting Kaiser Knuckles early in this in this part of the run. Just makes life so much easier for this particular mission. Because your white monk will have range, and he'll be doing 1.5 times damage based on his weapon attack damage. Oh. Sorry, I had something in my throat. So after this particular mission's done, we go back to Saffron. Yeah. And we're going to... I did this wrong, I need to put the Black Mage here and the Fencer here. We're going to be introduced to the worst part of map movement, and that is the random clans that appear. And since none of their banned, these thieves are going to be stealing gil rather than attacking. And sometimes they just move in their turn, which just makes it a lot easier to deal with them. But our main priority is the White Mage, as he can cast Shell, no, he can cast Protect, and Heal. And you do not want those particular things on the soldiers or the thieves, because it takes forever to kill them. Alright, so we're gonna try our luck. 67% chance of hitting from the side on the beat because of our high evasion. Hit rate is determined by enemies' evasion. That's why it's so hard to hit ninjas, thieves, jugglers. Alright, let me get it down. It's thieves, ninjas, assassins, jugglers, and gadgeteers. Oh, and white monks. White monks are hard to do. Damn it. That means I'm gonna have to use first aid, and I really don't want to. Those soldiers can only attack my fencer. Oh, and fencers too. Fencers have a high fucking evasion as well. And it's quite annoying. Yeah, get shot at. As I said, you want to kill the white mage as soon as possible. I'm not gonna hit that. I will hit this still. I have a higher base chance of hitting it with 60 than I was 34. And I missed anyway, so it doesn't matter. This particular thief has the reaction ability counter. And counter does exactly what it sounds like. If you were to attack him, he will attack you and deal damage. And okay, cool. So the white mage went after Monoblock and attacked him rather than healing, which is actually really, really good because you don't want him to heal. And that's why he's like top priority. The reason I'm killing this archer, as you've seen, he immobilized my soldier. And the only way to cure immobilization is with a bandage, or by using first aid or any other curing element like Asuna. Bandage, Asuna, first aid. Mudguard, I think, also nullifies a status element. Oh, I actually hit that. I was not expecting to hit that at all. He's gonna boost, which is the ability Mark is going to be learning after this fight. And then we're gonna do our second debut. Because we need to change the March into a soldier, and so I'll explain when we get there. But in this particular case, we just need to finish Thesis Hunt, which can be an absolute pain in the ass. Like I said, it is the longest mission, because everyone is like same level, everyone hits low, and this is pre-grind, so you don't have the big beefy level 24 characters that are gonna beat the holy hell out of the early game because you're OP and you shouldn't be that high of a level. You shouldn't be able to get characters that high of a level that early. That's more mid to late game levels there. Alright, now that the white mage is dead, we don't have to worry about much anything else. Oh, I don't even have first aid, that's right, I got speed break. I couldn't have healed it if I wanted to, well I could. But I don't have... No, I do have item, never mind, I could have healed that. Oh no, I was thinking I could use first aid. He's gonna kill him on a blunt. That critical was completely unnecessary. Now this soldier has gotten the critical HP. Now he's going to use the ability First Aid. Though it does not heal a lot, it does heal. And I got unimmobilized, now I can actually move. I'm gonna shoot this guy on the side. I'm going to attack the other soldier with my light monk. Hopefully killing him, or the thief decides he wants to try and steal kill again. I'm gonna get right in front of his face. And this is only just set up. If I miss, I can set up for... Alright. I'm setting up for a black magic attack that I'm hoping will work. And she's gonna get killed. Like I said, this is the longest mission. Okay, so I can set up for the thunder and hope to hit. Got it. Alright, now I can send my soldier after the enemy soldier, putting him in a critical HP, preventing him from attacking March, and March can kill him. Bam, 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 bam. Alright, so I'm going to move March. We're going to kill the soldier, and then all we have to deal with left is the other thief with counter, who hurts if he hits you with counter. If he hits you with counter, it's going to hurt. No crit. And I just got lucky that it missed twice. the mission's done. Cutscene galore, cutscene galore. Alright, now I can start talking about what's going to happen next. Oh, I didn't get the Kaiser Knuckles. That's quite saddening. But it's whatever. Alright, we're gonna put Nubswood base around Seville. This is important because Seville has an item from the treasure hunt mechanic that is the strongest knife in the game. In order to get it, you need to place 2 forests and 2 deserts. And then you'll be seeing this later in the tutorial. But we go back to Saffron, we get this cutscene. Now random clans can now appear. Alright, so there are 3 missions we need to get. We need to get Cheetahs, which is the next story mission. We want to pick up Frosty Mage. And we're going to pick up the mission Probe in Trouble. And that's it. Alright, now the menu we're going to do is we need to change March into a soldier. We need to go to abilities, and we need to go to aim. And we want to remove combat combo. It is not needed. And we're going to give him a short sword for now. And that's it. Okay, so the law will be now fire is banned, ice is recommended. Okay, so we're going to do Frosty Mage first. This is the important mission. We're going to set everybody up. We're going to have Monoblanc in the back. And we're going to do exactly what we did in Snow Alusa. We're going to let the 2 Panthers come towards us into Armin and a Nolly Black Mage. And the mission is to destroy all the targets. Instead, what we're going to do is we're going to kill all the enemies. After we killed all the enemies, we're going to kill everybody else except March. Now you're going to be asking yourself, why would you want to kill everyone else on your team for this grind? Well, good question. Our teammates take up turns that are needed for grinding. And how we're going to grind. So let me explain now how the grind is going to work. So, you get experience if you attack something, if you use an ability, and it successfully hits. So, what we're going to exploit is it's not really an exploit, as more than a mechanic. You will be able to get 10 experience each time you use an ability to target yourself. Well, there isn't that many abilities that do that fit in that particular bill. In March's case. But there are 2. Well, 3, if you want to get technical. 6 if you want to be really technical, but I don't know why you'd be using black magic to hurt yourself, but, you know, it's whatever. Boost and first aid. Now, the difference between these two is literally a second. And that second matters is like... reason why this matters is because first aid, though we don't have to turn back into a soldier, it heals and it has text animation after each use, which takes 3 seconds each time, which adds up for per level that is for 10 levels that is 15, that is 13. I think on average it takes 20 minutes to get 10 levels if you're using boost, while on average using first aid would take it would take about 23 minutes instead of 20, or no, it's 30 minutes. Essentially, we cut out 10 minutes worth of... Since it's every 10 levels and we go up into the 40s, that is 30 levels plus whatever the other 6 levels March gets. So it's basically give or take 20 minutes to 30 minutes difference. And the reason why Boost is so good is because after you use the animation once, it just does, and March is standing still, you don't see, there's no extra animations, there's no text boxes that come up after that. He just stands there after the animation's done. And the run can actually end here if you die before killing everything enemy-wise. Because you only get since we don't go and get Phoenix Downs, it just makes reviving people a lot harder. No, the thing about the Frosty Mage is he has a Blizzard robe, which he will heal himself whenever he uses an ice attack on himself. Which makes fighting him relatively annoying. Oh, you didn't try to heal, so that's good. It's relatively annoying trying to fight Gelato and his annoying ass healing he can do. And this is the entire grind that I'm going to skip out into the tutorial because it's literally an hour and 20 minutes worth of just standing there hitting the menuing. But I will show you how to do the menuing for the grind. That is the important part, rather than seeing me go grind out all the levels. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to grind up a couple of levels just to show you how it works, and then do the next part of the run telling you this is what level you're going to be